How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. You also got to put in the disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor and this isn't financial advice. So just know when you do invest, you're doing it at your own risk. So today we're going to be talking about SOS and EBON. I want to make sure I gave you guys an update before going into Monday. So before we get started, of course, we got to go over the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below in the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're considering to take a position in either of these stocks or maybe both of these stocks, I suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to be going over is a technical analysis. We want to see how these stocks performed on Friday and what we want to look forward to as far as when this week progresses, as well as for the end of the month. I feel this is very key because if you're thinking about getting into this play, you'll be well prepared. Secondly, we're going to be going over the short interest information. We want to know how many short sellers are shorting our stock. What is it looking like? Why does this matter? Because this is going to contribute to the volatility that we see in these plays, and this is why it's key to know. And then when all of that is done, I'll be giving you guys my final thoughts. So let's get into it. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for SOS. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $3.84, and on the low it tested $3.72, then on the high testing $3.97. In regards to the percentage change, it remained the same. So when we take a look at the chart for SOS, we are using the 1-year daily chart, and as you can see, we're showing strength above the 200-day, and we're also showing some strength above the 21-day EMA. Keep in mind, it is set at $3.68 and closing at $3.84. What I look forward to as far as for Monday is concerned, I want to see that test going to that $4 level. Do keep in mind this is a psychological area for SOS, but we want to see some consistency here so we can see that potential move getting to 5. You guys know I want to see strength and support consolidation from SOS above $4 coming by the end of the month, so the end of June. We have been flirting in that area, but I want to see it maintain its gains. So taking this into consideration, we know 4 is going to be an area of resistance. It tested 397, so please keep this in mind. So we want to continue to see some strength in these particular levels, especially at 384, and as you can see, it has been on the run, so it's very easy for it to maintain this. If we take a look at the RSI down below, it is right around 52. So like I said, it's not anywhere close to being severely overbought or anything like that. So that's why I feel like there's still more room for SOS. So taking everything that we went over in consideration, I still have my option play, and it's one of those plays, as long as it gets into like above $4.10, things are looking really good. So we'll have to wait and see. So we're on Fintel. We're going to take a look at the short interest information for SOS. So we take a look at the short volume ratio. It is at 31%. I haven't checked to see what the previous history was, but this is looking fairly high. But what it looks like, it is at 9.9 million. That's the amount of shares that were traded on Friday, and out of all of those shares, 3.1 million of those shares were actually sold short. So this is very significant here. If we take a look at the short shares availability, it is at 1 million, and if we take a look at the short borrow free rate, which is fairly high, it is at 10.99%. When we take a look at the short volume ratio, like I was saying previously, we can see back here on June the 7th, it was at 14.49. It has more than doubled to get to 31.48. So what does this mean? There's a lot of negative market sentiment for SOS. There are a lot of short sellers that are in this particular play. But do keep in mind, if we can get into that $4 level and there's a lot of buying volume and there's a lot of demand for the shares overall, we could really force these shorts to cover, which would mean a very strong move to the upside for SOS. But do keep in mind, it does add a lot more volatility in this play as well. But I'm still going to stick to my stance of seeing SOS showing some strength above that $4 level. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for EBON. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $3.40, being up 0.29% on the day. On the low, it tested $3.34, then on the high, testing $3.94. So when we take a look at our chart, we're using the 1 year daily, and what we want to take a look at is, yes, EBON has been showing some strength. As far as our indicators are concerned, it's showing that strength above the 21-day EMA, and also we are below the 100-day and as well as the 200-day. But do keep in mind, due to the fact we are showing some strength, the fact of the matter is we're above the 21-day EMA and we are actually consolidating. So seeing this, I'm looking forward to seeing a strong move to the upside come this week for EBON. If it doesn't come this week, like I said, I'm looking for it before the end of the month here. One thing we have to keep in mind of the fact that this area of resistance right here around this $3.75 level. I feel if we have a lot of buying volume, there's a lot of demand, we could easily get past this area and get to that $4 level, which I'm looking for before the end of the month here. And if we can get to this $4 level, I think it will start gaining a lot of traction, and then we'll be able to get to around $4.40, where I'll be looking forward to seeing even more buying volume and essentially getting to 5. If we take a look at the RSI down below, it is right around 50, so right around fair value. So very similar, even in regards to its overall performance, to SOS. So something to keep in mind here, they're trading fairly closely to each other. But all things considered, again, I'm looking to see some momentum from EBON coming before the end of this month, but also especially going into this week. If it does decide to pull back, I will be looking at buying some option plays if it gets close to around this $3 level. And yeah, that's pretty much the game plan going in for the week. So we're going to be taking a look at the short interest information for EBON. So the short volume ratio is at 17%. So what does this look like? Out of 2.6 million shares that were traded on Friday, we had 459,076 that were actually sold short. So if we take a look at the short shares availability, it is at 3.8 million. And if we take a look at the short vol free rate, it is at 4.96%, of course, updated 8 minutes ago. So seeing it at 17.26, hey, we see that it has gone down, especially from June the 9th, where it was high as 25.79. We do have lows when we were actually in the 12 area. So it'll be very interesting to see if we revisit that area come during this part of the week. But being at 17.26 and it has been going down, hey, it's definitely looking strong for EBON. And as far as the market sentiment, it has been getting better. So taking all this into consideration, I'm still going to be sticking to my stands in regards to seeing it have strength above $4 before the end of the month. But do keep in mind that 17% doesn't mean that we're out of the clear yet. There's still going to be a lot more volatility ahead. So I'd definitely be patient and have a game plan if you're trying to get into this play. So for my final thoughts for SOS and EBON, these plays, like I was saying previously, we want to see $4 by the end of the month. We might go into some volatility this week, but again, if you're in these plays, it's to be expected. As far as SOS and taking a look at the short interest information, it is around 31%, so it is fairly high. So what does this mean? There could definitely be some manipulation going on further in these stocks, but of course, if you've been in this play long enough, you're not a stranger to this. But one thing we do know, when SOS does get into that $4 range, it could really start taking off. So what I'm seeing here are increasing levels of support. I want to see that continue, maintain that strength in the area of where it's at right now, and we can get comfortable in the 4s going into the end of the month. The next thing is for EBON. The short interest has gone down. It is right around 17%. So taking this into consideration, I'm bullish on EBON. I want to see EBON at $4 as well. It hasn't been able to get there as of yet like SOS, but I think it has the room to do that before the end of the month, and that's why I keep on reiterating it. As far as from a technical setup, it's been sitting on support for quite some time. So as long as it's making those moves and it's climbing up, then we can continue to look forward to the technicals looking good, and of course seeing that reflected in the price action and seeing that get to $4. Like I said, for both of these plays, they are Chinese stocks that are in the crypto space, and we already know how the Chinese government says how they're cracking down and so forth. It does not have an impact on both of these stocks. They have came out and they have told this, but at the same time, of course, we're going to have these short sellers that are going to be attacking it, having their doubts, saying that, you know what, no, they're too expensive and so forth. That's why it's very important if you're in any of these plays that you have high conviction. I'm going to say that again. If you're in these plays, you got to have high conviction, because if you're a believer like myself, when Bitcoin does hit hit 100K, and of course when SOS and EBON's values actually being appreciated by the market, these stocks will run, and that's part of the reasons why I haven't sold out of my position. Still have my option play for SOS just to update you guys, and like I was saying before, I'm looking into getting into an option play for EBON come on Monday, see what things look like. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.